Would you give up part of your pinky and permanently decorate places no tattoo artist politely discusses for a life of power, luxury, and fear-based respect? For decades, thousands of men in Japan answered yes and joined the shadowy world of the Yakuza. They are not your typical gangsters. The Yakuza are part crime syndicate, part rigid fraternity, part historical relic, and part cultural paradox. Their story reads like a manga series written at 3 a.m. on caffeine overload, equal parts brutal, ceremonial, oddly disciplined, and occasionally charitable. Peel back the crisp suits and dragon tattoos, and you find an underworld that helped shape modern Japan while quietly bleeding members in the present day. This is the rise, ritual, wealth, and slow transformation of Japan's most infamous criminal brotherhood, told honestly, accurately, and with just enough dark humor to keep all your fingers intact. A losing hand that built an empire. The word Yakuza itself comes from a bad bet. It originates in Oicho Kabu, a traditional gambling game where the worst possible hand, 893, adds up to 0. A total failure. A loser's draw. An oddly perfect metaphor. Early Yakuza weren't kingpins. They were society's leftovers. Many came from the Burakumin, a historically marginalized class assigned jobs involving death and blood, executioners, butchers, tanners, gravediggers. In a culture shaped by Buddhist and Shinto purity norms, these occupations carried lifelong stigma. Locked out of mainstream society, these groups built parallel economies. They ran illegal gambling houses, controlled black markets, and sold stolen goods. It wasn't glamorous, but it was survival. Over time, survival hardened into structure, and structure evolved into power. What began as desperate hustling slowly reshaped itself into a disciplined criminal system, one with hierarchy, rituals, and rules stricter than most corporate offices. A family business with much worse HR policies. Despite their outlaw status, the Yakuza are obsessively organized. Their internal structure mirrors a traditional Japanese family, except Thanksgiving dinner can end in amputation. At the top sits the Oyabun, literally father role. He commands loyalty, obedience, and absolute respect. Below him are the Kobun, or child roles, who pledge allegiance in a relationship meant to last a lifetime. This bond isn't symbolic. It's contractual, emotional, and enforced with consequences that make performance reviews look adorable. The hierarchy runs deep, layered with ranks, responsibilities, and expectations. Orders flow downward. Protection flows upward. Individual identity dissolves into collective duty. It's feudal Japan in a tailored suit, minus the castles, plus the indictments. Progressive? Inclusive? Not remotely. The Yakuza are famously male-dominated, conservative, and resistant to change. Diversity initiatives never made it past the pinky jar. The Kardashian clan of crime. While the Yakuza consist of many families, one name towers above the rest: Yamaguchi Gumi. Founded in 1915 by Harakichi Yamaguchi as a dockworkers union in Kobe, the group eventually transformed into Japan's most powerful crime syndicate. Its golden age arrived under Kazuo Taoka, often described as the godfather of godfathers. Under Taoka, Yamaguchi Gumi expanded aggressively into gambling, construction, entertainment, real estate, and finance. Think Monopoly, but with real buildings, real guns, and consequences that didn't involve flipping a board. At their peak in the early 1960s, Yakuza membership exceeded 180,000 nationwide. Today, after decades of legal pressure and social rejection, that number has fallen to roughly 20,000. Still dangerous, still influential, just no longer multiplying like before. Sake, loyalty, and lifelong regret. Becoming Yakuza isn't a matter of filling out an application. Initiation involves a ritual called Sakazuki. The recruit and the boss share sake from the same cup in a solemn ceremony involving candles, witnesses, and an unspoken understanding that this choice cannot be undone. It symbolizes a bond stronger than blood and infinitely more hazardous than your average onboarding process. Break the rules after joining, and you may meet Yubitsume, the infamous finger-cutting ritual. Traditionally, members who failed their duties sliced off the tip of their left pinky and presented it to their boss as an apology. The idea was practical as well as symbolic. Fewer fingers meant a weaker sword grip, increasing dependence on the group for protection. Today, the practice is far less common, but its symbolism lingers. In Yakuza culture, mistakes are paid for in flesh, not emails. Art that hurts more than it looks. If the Yakuza had a uniform beneath their suits, it would be irizumi, traditional full-body tattoos created through tebari, a hand-poked technique using steel or bamboo needles. These tattoos can take years to complete and cover everything from shoulders to thighs, often stopping just short of visible areas so they remain hidden under clothing. Dragons, koi fish, tigers, mythological heroes, each image carries meaning, resilience, loyalty, endurance, transformation. The pain is legendary. No machines, no shortcuts, just hours of deliberate agony. It's less body art and more a long-term endurance exam. Ironically, Japan broadly stigmatizes tattoos, associating them with criminality. Many Yakuza spend most of their lives carefully hiding the very art that defines them, revealed only in private gatherings or when intimidation is required. Crime with a public relations department. Despite their reputation, the Yakuza have long cultivated a strange Robin Hood image. After major disasters like the 1995 Kobe earthquake and the 2011 Thoku tsunami, Yakuza groups reportedly delivered food, water, and supplies faster than government agencies. They've assisted in cleanup operations, crowd control, and even provided security during Dwight D. Eisenhower's visit to Japan in 1960. This wasn't charity for charity's sake, it was strategic. Disaster relief builds goodwill, discourages informants, and reinforces their role as unofficial guardians of certain neighborhoods. Criminals, yes, but criminals who understand optics. How to make billions without filing taxes. The Yakuza's income streams are as diversified as a venture capital portfolio, just significantly more illegal. Gambling, prostitution, drug trafficking, loan sharking, extortion, and blackmail form the backbone. But the real sophistication lies in their corporate strategies. They operate legitimate businesses, construction firms, real estate holdings, talent agencies, hostess clubs, and even technology investments to launder money and blend into the legal economy. One infamous tactic involves corporate extortion. Syndicates buy small stakes in companies, attend shareholder meetings, then threaten to expose scandals unless paid to stay quiet. Imagine hostile takeovers with fewer lawsuits and more implied violence. A crime boss who commutes by train. One of the most fascinating modern Yakuza figures is Kenichi Shinoda, longtime head of Yamaguchi Gumi. Internationally wanted, domestically feared, personally modest. Shinoda reportedly prefers traveling by Shinkansen bullet train, eating simple bowls of ramen, and avoiding flashy displays of wealth. No armored convoy. No tiger in the passenger seat, just punctual rail service and quiet menace. Behind the understated lifestyle sits vast wealth tied to construction, redevelopment, and shadowy investments. In Yakuza culture, true power doesn't shout, it shows up on time. Luxury, quietly armored. While bosses avoid attention, police raids occasionally reveal the truth. Mansions built like fortresses. Hidden rooms. Private security systems. Garages stocked with Rolls-Royces, Bentleys, luxury Japanese sedans, and yes, occasionally Lamborghinis. Italian supercars might seem flashy for an organization built on discretion, but even crime lords enjoy loud engines now and then. When the sins come home. Not everyone raised in Yakuza households survives unscathed. Shoko Tendo, daughter of a high-ranking Yakuza member, chronicled her traumatic upbringing in her memoir Yakuza Moon. Her childhood involved abuse, addiction, and chaos. Less glamorous underworld, more emotional wreckage. As an adult, she reclaimed control through full-body tattoos symbolizing resilience and survival. Today, she is an author and mother, living proof that the cycle can be broken. The quiet decline of a loud legacy. Modern Japan has little patience for organized crime. Laws now penalize businesses that associate with Yakuza, making it difficult for members to rent apartments, open bank accounts, or even own phones. Recruitment has collapsed. Younger generations see no future in an organization that offers high risk, low reward, and zero retirement benefits. For the first time in a century, Yakuza groups are shrinking not because of arrests, but because they can't afford to exist at scale. Still, groups like Yamaguchi Gumi aren't disappearing. They're adapting. Smaller, quieter, more corporate, less visible ink. Same tailored suits, crime, culture, and consequence. The Yakuza occupy a strange place in Japan's identity, part historical artifact, part ongoing reality, part warning label. They fused ancient loyalty codes with modern capitalism, built empires from exclusion, and left permanent marks on bodies and society alike. Whether viewed as criminals, cultural oddities, or impeccably dressed cautionary tales, one thing is certain: the Yakuza reshaped Japan's underworld in ways that won't fully fade anytime soon. And if this story teaches anything, it's simple: curiosity is healthy, history is complicated, and keeping all 10 fingers is generally a good life strategy. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Japan's hidden underworld, make sure to like and subscribe for more fascinating videos you won't hear anywhere else. And remember, stay curious, stay safe, and definitely keep both your pinkies.